Hey everybody, Chris here. So is Dogecoin entering an extended cycle? We're going to talk about that in this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when new videos come out, as well as when I do live streams. A lot of talk about October and how that did not happen, and how things are kind of stretching out in this sort of sideways accumulation period. Is this the start of a bear market? We've talked about that, but more and more, I'm leaning more towards an extended cycle. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. Let me show you the charts in the news. I'll show you what I'm looking at. We start here looking at the current Dogecoin chart. We're about 18.8 cents, just under 19, and we are still in our purple box. That's right. This is the purple box. We've had almost 3 weeks now since the October 10th flash crash, where Binance basically just dumped the market to take out huge amounts of leverage longs, billions of dollars taken out. And along the way, every time price starts to come up, right? More leverage traders come in and they dump the market to take them out again and again and again. And yet, yesterday and last night, more leverage traders getting taken out. Here's Bitcoin as well, doing the same thing. Big wick early this morning to take out more long leverage trades. Millions and millions of dollars. That continues. And as we go through our whole list of coins on my watch list, they're all still in the purple box. Even Solana, with its new ETF supposed to start trading today, thought there would be some excitement. Nope, there's negativity there. Cardano down near the bottom. Now, we did have the H-bar breakout that we had on Tuesday when its ETF was launching, and it's been able to hold up above the purple box, so good for H-bar being able to hold that. But outside of a few other alts that occasionally go on runs, everything else is just firmly within, or even VeChain actually went a little bit below, but everything else, right? And I'll go quickly through these, and you can slow this down if you need to, but all of these are just sideways. This is the whole crypto market, guys, not just Dogecoin, right? It's the whole market, including Pepe, back below 7, now in the 6s again. Just weakness overall in the market. We've got Bitcoin dominance also in its purple box below 60%. So again, Bitcoin isn't doing anything fancy and just going sideways, kind of this wait and see mode. We'll talk about that. But that seems to be the overall market condition. Now, S&P 500, again, just hit a new all-time high. Yesterday, NASDAQ as well, all-time high. Dow Jones hit an all-time high the other day, and gold is still kind of drifting along sideways just below this $4,000 resistance line there. So that's the overall view of the markets. Now let's get into what is going on. We have Bitcoin slips to 110. Ethereum, XRP, Dogecoin slide 3%. Why is this slide happening presently? What's going on? Well, as I tweeted out this morning, and if you don't follow me on X, I am at ChrisPax. Give me a follow. The Fed rate cut, right? Check mark. Yep, we got that. That was the first one. The second one, China trade deal. Yep, last night. Yep, check mark. Got that. But the end of the U.S. government shutdown. We're still in the red. That's just weighing down on the markets in this wait and see mode. But then why are stocks going to new all-time highs? Why is gold, right? Gold going down. You would think that with that uncertainty, gold would still be ripping. There seems to be a rotation from gold into stocks that they're following the tech stocks, not crypto. Kind of interesting. So Altcoin Sherpa says, hey, good morning. This effing market, it's just like new dump. That's where we are. We looked at the crypto bubbles and we're just like, all of the things people were talking about the other day, from virtual, XPL, World Liberty Finance, SPX, even Aster, all of the ones that were running are now having huge pullbacks. Zcash continues to go up. That's amazing. And Doge is just hanging out. That's kind of right in the middle. Yeah, down 3.5% isn't great, but Bitcoin's down 3%. So it's just like not that far off of Bitcoin. Satoshi Flipper says, it's the most boring and aggravating price action ever. Right? That's where we are. I don't know anymore. If there's good news, we go down. If there's bad news, we dump it. When will we finally go up? Well, it's chop, right? It is the chop. The chop is making everyone question their life choice. True. It's just like, and that's what it is. It's not like, we're not dumping, right? It's just sideways up and down action is the point I'm making here. Nick says, look, this cycle isn't like the last ones. It has new participants, new behavior, timing that could easily stretch into Q1 or Q2 2026 without breaking the broader pattern. Seasonality still leans bullish, no euphoric top yet, and equities remain strong, so patience is needed. That's right. The stock market's still up. Everyone thinks like, oh, we're a bear market. But look at the stocks. There's no bear market there. That said, price action is rough. Alts are bleeding. Crypto stocks keep sliding. Most momentum's gone. And really, that's not the way it is. It's sideways, right? It's just sideways. The current 3 to 5 month range is important. Small dips are tolerable, but Bitcoin needs to catch a bid soon. If it runs, it'll probably outperform alts early, making rotation later the smarter play. So interesting how he views that. But gold did have a big run and then is now pulling back to 4,000 for gold. And typically Bitcoin takes off after gold. It follows it. So is Bitcoin going to go on a run here coming up? Because gold went on a run, pulled back. We got the stock market running. Are we going to see a rotation back into crypto? Interesting. Liquidity is stacking. And again, right? What's moving the markets right now? It is the leverage traders. And you can see, again, we've been taking out all the leverage longs, and now even drifting down to take out new leverage longs that are coming in. And we'll see whether Bitcoin does go back down to 108, 107 range, take out even more. But the shorts are stacking up here. The shorts are stacking, and they are not going to let those go. So eventually the next move is going to be up over 110, 111,000 and start to take out those shorts. That is how we trade. But yeah, we had the check mark, right? U.S.-China trade deal. Good meeting between Xi and Trump, and right. So we get that behind us, right? Now we can move on. That seems to be that uncertainty gone. And Bitcoin, why a reversal after the rate cut? Fed just cut rates 25 basis points. It was all priced in already. Now all eyes are on how Bitcoin will react. On the 4-hour, price is forming a potential inverse head and shoulder with a neckline around 116. If Bitcoin breaks above 116, the next target sits at 130, new all-time high, measured from the head to the neckline distance. If you believe in technical analysis, then go for it. Let's see Bitcoin turn around, come up. Let's complete that reverse head and shoulders and go higher. I love it. Let's do it. Let's do it. But what happens typically, right? After an FOMC, we typically have a drop and then we go to a new Bitcoin all-time high. This has been again and again and again this cycle. This is what has been happening, right? We get a dump after the FOMC and then we move to a new all-time high. A dump, new all-time high. Dump, new all-time high. Here's a dump again. So a pattern is repeating here tied to the Fed and their meetings. And here we go again. So, yeah, let's do that, right? Let's do that. Tom Lee said Bitcoin 4-year cycle is now dead, easily going to $1 million. Let's listen.
So I think Bitcoin should be, over 1 million over time.
Permable.
And then I kind of prescribing to the view that there's probably a chance that maybe the 4-year cycle is ending for Bitcoin because of the way institutional adoption of that thesis is taking place. And so you have institutional and essentially permanent holders of Bitcoin coming in. So should be good. So I think Bitcoin should really build upon this 120 before the end of the year. So, 200,000, maybe 250.
So that's where Tom is. Yes, he is a bull. He wants the markets to go up. He especially wants ETH to go up. He's a huge holding of ETH. So he thinks Bitcoin, then rotation again to ETH, and then rotation into alts. That pattern should continue. What about Doge? Well, Doge is neutral. We were at 50, right? Came down to 40. Now we're at 38. Right on the lower end of neutral before we go back into fear. That's where the fear and greed index is now. Trader tardigrade is like still, the market structure is still a double bottom structure. Instead of Adam and Eve, it's Eve and Adam. Seems to be what we have, right? The Eve and Adam double bottom, and then at a higher level that we have from late summer into the fall is another Eve and Adam structure, which could point to higher Doge prices. And Ethernational says, zoom out, right? Zoom out on the big Doge. And this is really more about the theory of an extended cycle where you have a drawdown, a long drawdown, and then you have right in this box, gray box here, you do have a market structure with one last dip before the big move up. We had it again from 2018 into 2020, beginning of 2021. Right there, we had that same structure there. Little fear in the market, and then Dogecoin rips. This cycle, we did have, it was almost a 2-year bear, because not only did we have the dip down in 2022, but then a re-dip in 2023, where we were buying Dogecoin here at 5.7, 5.8 cents, right? And we've had a couple big moves, first in early 2024 and then late 2024. But the structure is still there for this next move, which could go into 2026. And that is the market structure. And typically when we see, again, overall on Bitcoin, we see when there is quantitative tightening ending, which they're talking about December, and then there's a lag before we get to quantitative easing. Once quantitative easing starts, then you start to see the risk on assets really take off. That could be a 2-month lag. That takes us into 2026. If quantitative tightening ends on December 1st, we're talking February before easing, and that is the market cycle. So more and more, we're looking for 2026. Again, the business cycle is going to follow that, as Raw Paul's talking about. This is the new pattern we seem to be on, with a lot of institutional buying come in, right? That's what Tom Lee said, right? It's a different structure now with the ETFs. We're going to have more ETFs starting. We're going to have Dogecoins eventually. And Dogecoin is going to be seeing the structure of a support line, which could end up staying in around this level, in the 16, 17, 18 cent level, could be the structural bottom for Doge as an ETF starts, and higher prices coming maybe in 2026. Again, it's a theory that's out there. It's one that I'm drifting more towards. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Is this just an excuse? Oh, Chris is just making an excuse, right? Because it's not doing what he wants to do. Look at the last 3 weeks. It's sideways. We're exactly the same price where we were back here on October 11th. It's the same price, right? This isn't a bear market, right? It's the same price. That's what I'm trying to show you. Sideways. I know you guys hate my purple boxes, but it tells the story. So you're going to be dreaming about purple boxes. Give the video a like if you haven't already. Please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.